Hello everyone, we are the Craft Academy senior cohort from starting November. We are presenting our final project, Future Me. And yeah, so let's get going.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Allt. This is our product launch for Future Me. For our final project, we decided to do a collaboration with Open Lab in Stockholm and two students, Despina and Olof. They have recently done a research project about youths in Husby, a suburb in Stockholm, through observation desktop research and interviews with parents, residents, experts, and educators, and then of course the youths. They realized that about 40% don't complete high school and that there's a high youth unemployment. This led to that the project team developed an idea that had a main purpose to help inspire youth in Husby and probably other similar places to explore career options, to widen their perspectives and help them on the way. Easier said than done, they got stuck with the development, and that's where we come in, us four, and Craft Academy, and our final project. It made it easier for us to pick up that idea that has all the data needed to become an actual application, an idea into product, in other words, and of course a great collaboration between two companies that are both innovative and challenging, and us as students. We wanted to help Despina and Olof to build an app that inspired youth to explore professions and widen their perspective of possible careers. Thanks to Rodrigo, Despina and Olof were very prepared for a two-day design sprint. They had written down their ideas and wishes into user stories. And during the design sprint, we turned these user stories into features that get created in Pivotal Tracker. Here's also where we put all the clients' other wishes and ideas into an icebox, and later on we prioritize this and put it into the backlog. And from the backlog, we start working on them, and that is called the implementation sprint. The implementation sprint is concluded by a sprint review, where we sit down with the clients and they either reject or accept our features. If they reject them, we have to go back and redo and make changes. And if they accept them, we go on and work on the next feature. These sprint reviews end with a sprint retrospective, where we as a development group discuss what has gone good and bad in our workflow, what could improve, and what we could change. And then we do this until the job is done. And in our case, we do this twice in 2 weeks to make the job done.
Okay, let's move on to the development of the app. For this, we use Ionic, which is a framework built on AngularJS. Ionic is good for developing hybrid native application using web frameworks such as with Angular and HTML and things that we're used to delivering. We used a Tinder cards library for our swiping function, which you will see soon in our demo. And we also used a library called Angular Storage to store all our data on the local device. We developed this app with using behavior-driven development, meaning that we started on the first thing that the users see, which is the main screen, and then we moved on to navigation to the other screen, which we found out was a pretty good way of developing. We have a lot of everything that we anticipated during the last 2 weeks in the stories, we have implemented and developed, and we will soon show you a demo of that. Okay, sorry. Yeah, the problems we struggled with was we had a lot of problem with our Tinder cards library. It was an outdated library which we hadn't, which wasn't developed on anymore. So we had to basically take a new one and configure it to what we wanted it to do. We also had some struggles with our CSS. We haven't worked that much with front-end frameworks, and during the first couple of days we were not very familiar with the CSS, and so some of our CSS were overlapping, and we had a lot of issues with conflicts during the first couple of days, but that resolved itself later when we got used to it. Also, we had some problems with our communication during the first couple of days also, meaning that we did not follow through with our process. We didn't communicate enough. We just started working on features, which resolved itself in a lot of conflicts and a lot of overlaps in our code initially. But during our retrospective, we looked back, what did we do wrong, and we fixed it. So we started communicating more and started focused on delivering features and get it done. So I think this comes to, let's start with the demo. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So here.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So when you start the app, Future Me, that's the view, first view of the app, the first job, and you can swipe right or left, out. Between the jobs, when you push the red button, you skip the card and go to the next job. So we can do that. When you go to the footsteps, the purple button, you can click here. So it's
here you can see a path screen, which is the steps you have to take in order to get to become that job, to get that job profession basically.
Yeah, so we can start with 1, 2, 3 more steps, and we can go to the blue button. There is a description of the job when you can read about that, the time and what they do, and what chance to get the job when you're done. And the black button, you do the Google search, and they come up the nurse, the links you can click on and go in and read more about what you want to read. And back to the screen, and you will take over.
So from all these screens, the path screen here and the description screen and the suggestion screen, the main screen, you can like the job. I like 2 jobs now, and then you can save them in a library. So you can go back and look, I saved this job, and you can see, go to the description page from here, read about it. And then you can also, if you don't, misclicked or did something, you can remove the job by long holding and then pressing delete. So yeah, this is Future Me.
Yes, good. So this.
Okay. So
There. Very good.
That is fine. Thank you. So, some conclusions from these very intense 2 weeks. Actually, as we have been finishing up this 12 weeks boot camp, we've worked this time in our very first real project with our very first real client, and it has been a very rewarding process. It has been more difficult and more challenging and more demanding than we thought, but also very much more rewarding. And great deal thanks to the super professional clients, you know who you are, and lovely clients, of course. And we've had our struggles, as Philip said before, we had struggles in our process, we had struggles in communication, in the coding, but we've learned a lot from staying in the struggle and overcoming. This project aimed to creating an early MVP, and we realized this project in only 2 weeks. During these 2 weeks, as we said before, we had a design sprint of 2 days. We had 2 sprints of work, and we have had 2 sprint reviews. This is not at all finished by any means. There's still a lot to do in the GitHub. There's still a lot of stuff in the Icebox and Pivotal Tracker, and everything is open source. Anybody that wants to pick it up and continue and make this a reality for the client and their vision, you can do so. It's open. For instance, for the backend, we have the API connection, the API integration, which can enable easy content administration for the guys that are commissioning this app. For the front-enders, for instance, we have advanced front-end programming with the rendering of the screen resolutions and automatic adaptations of contrast. So there's a lot of stuff we really want to continue on this project. For us, the most important takeaway during this work, during these past 2 weeks, has been to work with you guys, our first real client in a first real project. You know, you have this real life need, and it comes with a lot of pitfalls and challenges when you work like this as a new developer in a project that has been really given parameters from our coaches. We have been working with access to supervision, but we have been working independently and autonomously. And what has helped us to stay the course in this project has been the knowledge and the experience that I've gathered during these 12 weeks about the agile mindset, about the processes and the habits that we have applied during this bootcamp. Without that, and without the super professional clients that actually adopted these principles and made them their own, so you could start like running already in the first day, this joint project would have never come so far. So I want to thank you for that, and the team for that, and the coaches for that. We will also give some thanks to people, some formal thanks. Thank you. We would like to thank you, Despina and Olof, for all the work that you have put up with us. You are students from the master program and Open Lab in design thinking in Stockholm. And we also would like to thank Mats Segerström, who has been part of it as external stakeholder and also been part of the initial work from Place Consulting at Open Lab Stockholm. Because you have been our first ambassadors. In being our first clients, you also have been our first ambassadors into our first steps into professional life. We also would like to thank Geert van der Open Lab Stockholm and his team for giving us the opportunity to work in this very interesting project. And we hope that students from Craft Academy and Open Lab also in the future join forces to realize this kind of projects that do good. Finally, we'd also like to thank, of course, Thomas Ochman and his team at Craft Academy for an excellent team for this life-changing 12 weeks experience. It's been 12 weeks of learning, of hard, of despair, of evolving, of feeling joy and winning. Truly, it's been an intense life experience and an emotional roller coaster in many ways, which has touched each and every one of us deeply. Not only did you all, I see you there, and I have Thomas here, teach us how to code, but you also made us grow as people. And most importantly, you put in our hands the power to control our own future destiny. And for that, we will be forever grateful. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing. I would like to leave with a special word for the junior cohort in this room and also on remote that are still in the first weeks of this 12-week bootcamp. Some of us here from the seniors will be sticking around in projects, and therefore we ask of you, please do not commit the same mistakes that we made. As alumni of Craft Academy, we will now be happy to act as your advisors and your buddies and brothers and sisters and code mentors if we can, now that we actually have the time. So make sure to connect with us even more than just once, now and then, so we can actually give you this advice. But do remember to ask. So we want to pass this very positive attitude on to you guys. And hopefully we can make this a tradition. And remember, the coaches aren't as scary as they look, because you might think that they're really hard, but inside they're all softies and very mushy. They just call it tough love. Thank you.
All right, so this is Thomas from Craft Academy. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. And Ebba,
Yes.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thomas, Christopher, my main man, and of course Rodrigo. All right, thank you very much. So this ends your guys' journey. There's at least 8 hours left of the boot camp, so I have some assignments for you guys. But live long and prosper, and I wish you all the luck. And I also want to extend my thanks to all my coaches, Amber and Raul, but also to Open Lab, everybody there, and the clients, Despina and Olof. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.